Hello, it's Miko, Sam Possible Mikos. My name is Taffrey16. Welcome back to another episode of Reading Your Comments, episode 210. It is Sunday, or maybe Saturday if you're watching this day early on Patreon. For those who don't know, the Patrons have the option to watch these, as well as the reaction videos up to a day early, sometimes more, and you get your name in the video description as well. But regardless what day you're watching this on, let's go ahead and read some comments. The Tubble art on Have I Got News For You was a guest replacement for MP Roy Hattersley, who didn't show or couldn't do the show, and this is the third time he canceled at the last minute. Angus Deaton was the host for that episode, and if I remember, Tony Slattery was the guest on the other team. Well, you know what they say, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me, fool me 3 times, tub of lard. The actual average time spent in prison for someone receiving a life sentence in the UK is just 14 years. For most offenses, people only serve half their original sentence with good behavior or released on license, as Glitter was. Well, good to know our legal system isn't the only one that's fucked. Some other YouTuber told me there's a whole lot of money to be made in shorts, so I decided to get in the game and opened a store. I haven't sold a pair. Gen Z and their stupid ideas. Any shows you think would have worked well in the US and are surprising if across the pond are on the opposite side of that? Any shows you understand why they never made it to the US? Well, a lot of comedy doesn't work just because the humor is so much different, and a lot of, you know, US shows try to replicate it and it doesn't work. Like, the reason why The Office worked is the first season of the US Office kind of replicated the US show and it wasn't working, so they decided, fuck it, let's change it and do our own thing. And then it worked. And plus they actually had funny, talented people writing the show, so, you know, that helps too. As far as stuff I feel like could work here, I feel like comedy panel shows could do decent, you know? There's not too many of those here, but I feel like they could do well, honestly. I'd watch them. A lot of Neds are teenagers, but it's not uncommon for someone to never grow out of it and continue into their 20s and even 30s, so the actors' ages don't look too out of place. I mean, how you need to grow up is subjective, you know? You don't necessarily need to grow out of things, but if you're in your 30s and you're walking in a park with a dog harassing people, and that's all you do with your day, you might want to grow up a little bit. Assume you already know that Series 789 of Still Game will have to be a Dailymotion job. Dailymotion or OneHub, yeah. That'll, because the copyright's different because it was broadcast on BBC One compared to the other show, which I don't remember where it was broadcast, but it's the other show is good for YouTube because it's owned by Zodiac. I think BBC owns 789, and I'll probably do, when I do those series, I'll probably do them like in the whole series gimmick. So I'll do a series 7 all at once, and an 8 and then 9. How did Winston get a key to the door for the roof? He doesn't even live in that building. I imagine he just paid whoever owned it off, either that or he broke the lock and put his own lock on there. Only problem with this is we'll have to wait another month for more Still Game episodes, quality viewing once again. True, but at least you don't have to wait 5 months this time. For the final Still Game reaction, you have to do a full formal disclosure explaining the DVD situation. Just do like a whole 10-minute monologue at the beginning. But you know, to be honest, considering I can't get those on YouTube and considering their newer copies, was there DVD releases of those seasons? I don't know. I feel like because they're newer, I may actually be able to find broadcast versions compared to the original run of the show, so it might have the original theme. Off topic, did you know that Fawlty Towers is making a comeback with John Cleese and his daughter, Basil, now running a boutique hotel? Yeah, I'm kind of mixed about it, because in my personal opinion, it kind of seems like John Cleese has a little bit of old man yells at cloud syndrome nowadays, you know? So I just feel like it's gonna be fucking just every episode of how, oh, these damn kids and cancel culture and all that, which I guess could be funny, but I don't know. I'm a little mixed about it. I don't know. I hope it works, but I just have a sinking feeling it's not gonna. Keep the number 9 reactions coming. Also, don't always expect a dark twist ending. Not all of them have deaths in them. Sometimes you could end up being disappointed if you expect something that isn't there. True. Keeps the tension up, though. Always very nice to see an Inside Number 9 reaction. This one's very good. Probably one of the more clever titles of all the episodes, because instead of 9 being a place, it's used to show Martin, the ref, being inside number 9 Calvin. Wow, you know? Honestly didn't think about it that way, but that's pretty good. Some episode suggestions for Inside Number 9. Wise Owl, Diddle Dill Dumpling, Private View, A Stakeout, How Do You Plead? I'm definitely going to do more episodes before the year's out. It's not going to be another 2 years until I do another Inside Number 9. I'll definitely get some more done pretty soon. So if you have any suggestions as well that aren't on that list, I'm sure you might, please let me know. MasterChef started in 1990. You see, I had no idea it was that old. For some reason, I thought it was something that started at least in the 2000s. What I thought when I was watching this sketch, I thought maybe it was like a parody of Mastermind, but they called it MasterChef for some reason, because Mastermind's been around since like the 70s, I think. But yeah, I had no idea MasterChef was that old. That music is Spanish Flea by Tijuana Brass. It's one of those songs, I swear, that everyone on Earth has heard it, but the majority of people could not tell you what it's called. I think the reason they cut Bryan Adams short at the end of Top of the Pops is because at that point, Everything I Do had been #1 since the beginning of July, and it was almost like the 16th consecutive week at the top of the charts. So then people were starting to get a bit tired hearing it because it had become overplayed. I had no idea that song was that popular in the UK. Like, I knew it was popular, but 16 weeks in a row is crazy, which it makes sense why they cut it, but I still wanted to see the video. To relate others' comments, Voldemort wasn't the sole Top of the Pop presenter from 64 to 84. From the early 70s, there was a rotation of 5 or 6 regular presenters, and by the early 80s, Voldemort's appearances were becoming less frequent. So 70s varieties aren't entirely off limits, providing you get past copyright. There are some good 80s episodes, particularly with John Peel, who was often barely able to hide his disdain for what was on the show. True, and I could work around. Counterpoint as well, though, there were multiple Voldemorts. There was, the Voldemort who just got out of prison. There was the Voldemort with 3 names. So I'm sure there is some workaround, but there was also a bunch of Voldemorts. Yes, Bob was there during Vic's performance. Vic must have told him to stay in the background. It would have been good if they shared the mic at the end there. I couldn't tell if it was him. It looked like him, but like the quality was the point where I couldn't quite make him out, and they never gave a clear shot of him that I could see. As I understand it, Jim's retiring the Vic Reeves name character. He does a lot of stuff under his old name now, documentaries, art stuff, just plain acting, but everyone still calls him Vic, and he'd rather they didn't. I gotta be honest, I didn't even learn until recently that his name wasn't actually Vic Reeves. I didn't even know that. I didn't know it was a character until recently, because Bob Mortimer uses his real name, I believe. If you didn't know, also in 2004, Fathers for Justice protest on a balcony of Buckingham Palace. It was understood that one of the protesters managed to dodge the armed guards in the forecourt and quickly got into position near the balcony. That's, dear God, dodging armed guards. Like, that's... I understand you want to bring justice to your cause, but, like, dear Lord, man. On the Fathers for Justice clip, I love how Airman stood behind Sarah during the incident. He should have gone in front of her to protect her. I believe it was the last live episode from when I pre-recorded the quiz and started it into a life draw. As far as Airman Holmes goes, I read up a little bit about him and some things he said and stuff like that, and it's nothing like, he hasn't done anything abhorrent, like nothing that would stop me from showing him on stuff. But he does seem like a bit of an asshole. Yes, Ian is 15 to start Shameless, so underage. Lip is almost exactly a year older, so 16. Carl's a year younger than Ian. It's a great show for the first 4 seasons or so, but starts to tail off. There's so many fantastic acting talent in this. Yeah, I mean, that kind of changes my appearance on the shopkeep worker, because, I mean, at one point Ian's, I believe, said he didn't do anything wrong. Well, he's a pedophile, so there's that. I'm assuming you're not going to do all of Shameless. That would take years. At least the 2 free series of the show, last 2 free series of the show are garbage. Well, if I'm going to do more, it will be the whole series at once gimmick, because I'm not going to do it by episode. No, because, yeah, there's like 120 episodes. I'm sure somebody has already said on another video, but there was a serial killer on an episode of Bullseye, John Cooper, who murdered at least 4 people. He's now in prison for life. He was a contestant on an episode from '89. Until I heard, I thought it was the only thing was criminal about Bullseye was the prizes. That's pretty good, but I had heard about this previously, yes, because I've done episodes of it in the past, and people always say it in the comment section. I'm sure when I do a 4 episode, people will tell me again. But imagine killing 4 people and having the gall to go on national television. Like, that guy must have thought he was fucking invincible or something. Guy in Bullseye gets 140, looks over to who has to answer the question. Hello, darkness, miles for... Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for both of them. I feel bad for the guy throwing, because he was throwing really well. He had great form, he was getting good scores. And the other guy, I mean, went like, what, 1 for 5? And all he had to do was at least go 2 for 5, and they would have won. But, I mean, you could see it on his face after. He just felt like shit. I wouldn't wish that feeling on anybody. There's a reboot of a new single episodes of Bullseye, Player Card Right, Struck It Lucky. Like, recently? I know there was the Bullseye reboot with Jerry St. Clair in, like, '06 or something, but did they bring it back recently, I'm guessing what you mean? My boat, my car? Yeah, at least they finally got a good prize on Bullseye. I mean, can't do nothing with a boat, but I can absolutely do something with that car. Alright, y'all, that's gonna do it for another episode of Reading Your Comments. The comments in this video were pulled from the following videos. Last week's episode of Reading Your Comments, number 209, American Rex's Steel Game 27 and 28, Inside number 94, The Smell of Reeves and Mortimer, Top of the Pops, Jet Set, and Bullseye 3, as well as Shameless. If you want a chance to get your comments read in next week's episode of Reading Your Comments, the videos to comment on are as follows. This video, Open All Hours 5, which came out yesterday, the video that comes out tomorrow, which, spoiler, will probably be Melon Partridge 2, and the videos that come out Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Those are the videos to comment on if you want a chance to get your comment read in next week's episode of Reading Your Comments. But that is going to do it for me today. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, be sure to leave a like. If you didn't like it, don't. If you want to follow any of my social media links, my Twitch, where I stream every single day on my second channel, free 16 views, my Twitter, if you want to follow me on my Patreon, if you want to support me on my daily motion, all those things in the video description down below, as well as the Twitch files channel and the community Reddit. Also in the video description is names of all my Patrons. Thursday night, you can be Patreon me for as little as $1 £1, and you get extra direction videos, as well as the Reading Comments up to a day early, sometimes more. For all that being said, though, my name is Taffer16. It's been my episode 210 of Reading Your Comments. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.